Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with war correspondent Anthony Shadid and spoke with him about his events and life throughout the Middle East, as he has covered many wars, revolutions, risings, anything in the Middle East. He's done it. He knows it. He lives it. He is Anthony Shadid. And here he is. I'd like you to welcome Anthony Shadid. Hello, Tony. Hold on, seems like I forgot my shirt. Good afternoon. So here is Anthony Shadid on being captured by Muammar Gaddafi's forces in Libya last March. When I think back to the day, I blame myself more than to blame others and not leaving sooner. I've gone over in my mind why I didn't leave sooner, and I hope it was for the right reasons, that this one had been covered otherwise. And I figured it was for the wrong reasons, that there was ambition in play, and we stayed too long. And I think any one of us could have forced the issue, and I should have, but I didn't. We took such incredible risks for a story that I don't think it was worth taking those risks for, but it's something I didn't realize until much, much later. And by the time we left, it was too late. What about that gun battle that took place at that checkpoint where he and 3 other journalists were captured? There was gunfire everywhere. We all made a run for it. I think Tyler Hicks was the first to run, and I followed him, and then we just ran for our lives, basically. So there was no little decision making at that point, but it was just, how are we going to survive? And I think Taylor, we talked together, he was going to make a run for it, and there was no way he could have gotten away with it. In the end, we all got beyond a cover near a small concrete school that was set up by a checkpoint. And once we got there, the soldiers just set upon us, and they emptied our pockets, slapped us around, and put us on our stomachs, and bound our hands and feet. And I remember, it remains one of the scariest moments of my life. You just have to make peace very quickly with the idea that it's over. And I remember looking up at the soldier, and he says, "Shoot them," in Arabic. And you just lose every sensation at that point. And it was probably 2 minutes before another soldier said, "You can't shoot them. They're Americans." And I'm not sure I believed them when I heard that. But the ability to sense things came back to me after I heard those words, and I thought, maybe this is going to play out, and you try to get your wits about it. So, Anthony, you were shot by an Israeli sniper in 2003, which could have easily ended your life. In your opinion, what risks are worth taking to get a story? To me, getting the story is what matters. Although I have a family I need to think about when I go on these trips into hostile places in the Middle East. There's always this thrill when being in a war zone, but I don't know, I'm just usually scared out of my mind. Like when I was captured in Libya with other journalists, I was scared for my life, and I kept thinking, this is it, I'm going to die. But fortunately, I kept making out those kinds of situations, and I'm just lucky to be alive. How did you get into the conflict in Syria when journalists weren't allowed to enter the country? Well, my fellow journalist Tyler Hicks and I, and a few others made it to a sort of lawless region near the border. And this is where a lot of smuggling went on, and the resistance was operating through it. We finally found some charming men who gave us a ride on some of their motorcycles, but instead of a normal path, we evaded past these checkpoints on dirt roads, and we kind of zigzagged our way into the country. It was absolutely terrifying as we neared one of the checkpoints. They recognized us as part of the resistance militia, and we were fired upon about 100 yards away. Only a few bullets hit the ground near us, and I saw them impact the dirt. And after this whole grueling 5 or 6 hour trip, we had successfully made our way into the village in the interior of Syria. It was crazy.